Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to discuss about the basics of MATLAB language. So we are going to cover the contents of MATLAB language in just 1 hour. So you know very well that in a 1 hour we can't become a master in any language. But in this session we are going to cover all the concepts outline. So what is meant by MATLAB? Where we are using this MATLAB? What are the commands used in MATLAB? So all the important points I will cover in this session. So this session, we are going to see the basics of MATLAB. We will discuss about the commands used. We will explain about the looping statements. And finally, we will end with the creation of GUI and usage of image processing toolbox inside this MATLAB. So hope you can see the screen. So this is the MATLAB software which I am using. So the version is R2021A. This MATLAB software was initially created by a mathematics professor. So the professor has created a software to work on all the mathematics based problems. So later on, industry people started to use this software for their own applications. So consider a company is working in image processing. So when you call the image inside a MATLAB software, this software will consider that image as a matrix. So what are the things you are working with matrix based problems can be done using this inside this MATLAB software. So similarly, audio files, video files, any communication signals, 5G signals. So everything you can work inside this MATLAB software. So whatever the inputs you call, this software will consider those things as just a matrix. So you know that to work with everything, we have to start the concept of matrix and arrays. So now before going to see the matrix and arrays concept, we are going to see the software structure. So in left side, you can see the current folder. So all the codes you have, it is best to save in some folder. So here you can see I have created a folder with today's date. So whenever you type any code, just save here, it will get saved here automatically. So while saving, never give some proper noun. For example, if you want practicing some addition of two numbers, basically many people will do like add. So add is a proper noun. What happens when you do add? When you use the command named, when you save the program named add, already there might be some inbuilt command named add. So those two codes will get clashed. So after some days, that particular command will not work. It will stop to work. So what happens if that particular command is not working? How to rectify it? Either you have to rename this file, or you have to do reinstallation once again from the beginning. So never give a proper noun. So here I am saving it as example 1, and always never start with any numericals. Always start with any characters. So example 1. So I am saving this. You can see it will save under the current folder. When you work with image processing toolbox, in the current folder, you have to save the image as well as the corresponding codings. Next, this is called the editor window, where you can able to type the program, save it, and click run to execute that. And here in the right side of the editor window, you can see a workspace. So this is considered as like the brain of the MATLAB software. So what are the variables you are typing will be saved in this workspace. So for example, consider I'm running a equal to 1. So in the workspace, you can see the variable a is created and saved, and the value of that variable is 1. You can double click this variable to see what is present inside that a. So it will open as like a Excel sheet. You can see the value is 1, and this is the data type of any numbers in MATLAB, double. And 1 cross 1 is nothing but the size. So in our next exercise, you can see how the sizes is working. Okay, and below the editor window, you can see a window named command window with f of x. It is nothing but function prompt with 2 arrow mark. So I am typing CLC. It will clear the command window. Press enter after that. So editor window and command window are almost similar, provided in command window no need to save the code. So directly we can press the enter button to get the output. And the main difference between the editor window and the command window is, in editor window, you have to save the program and then execute. So consider I'm typing a program now. I'm closing the MATLAB software after practicing for 30 minutes. So what happens if I return after 1 hour or 2 hours? If you type the program in editor window, it would have been saved. But if you are practicing in command window, all those codes will completely gone. So your half an hour effort will be gone. So that's why it's better always to practice in editor window. Now you can see the command window. So this is the function prompt. I'm just clicking that function prompt. So when you click the function prompt, you can see many functions will be displayed here. So you can see all the toolboxes present in the function prompt. You can see all the installed products here. Just I'm clicking here, so it will go off. The same thing you can see here in search documentation. You can also type doc, DOC. So when you type DOC, so it will open you the another screen called this one. So here you can see the category. So here in this thing, you can see there is some keywords are there with the ending as toolbox, and some keywords are ending with Simulink. So there are two important concepts present in MATLAB, and these are the subjects. So one is nothing but MATLAB coding. So codings, the commands related to the codings are saved in the topic named toolbox. And there is another topic named Simulink. So Simulink is nothing but linking the blocks and then doing simulation of it. See, for example, in when you do using coding, you consider a equal to 1, b equal to 2, c equal to a plus 3. I'm running this program by, by pressing F5 in keyboard. You can see the output appears. So when you execute the same program in Simulink, you have to create a block with the value 1. You have to create a rectangular block with the value 2. And finally, you have to create another display. You have to add all the display. So that Simulink is as like working with LabVIEW or PSpice you can consider. So in MATLAB, there are two concepts, toolbox and the Simulink. So toolbox is nothing but the codings. So if you want to work with images, you will be using commands related to image processing. So there is a toolbox named image processing toolbox. If you want to work with videos, there is a toolbox named computer vision toolbox. If you want to work with some electrical based problems like power system, battery, inverter, wind panel, so those things are, you need blocks to implement those. And those things will come under Simulink. So now we are going to see only the, see, I'm typing a program of addition of two numbers. So this percentage will gives you comment. So system will not consider, I'm typing two comments here. So just a percentage. So addition of two numbers. Consider A equal to 5, B equal to 7, C equal to A plus B. So I'm saving this, running the program. You can see C equal to 12. But in command window, you can see many other values are there. So those things will be confusing for us. So it's always better to clear the command window. Now you can see in command window, we are getting the value only the C value is displayed. Then the next thing, we need to clear this workspace also. So second line should be CLC, then clear all. Then your program starts. So it's always advisable to use CLC and clear all before starting any MATLAB program. So this is the addition of two numbers. So the addition of two numbers, when you do any program, any sums in your notebook, how we will write the same way. A equal to, we will declare some value, B equal to some value, C equal to A plus B. But in other programs like C, C++ and all, you need to declare the data types. You have to declare the data type of A, you have to declare the data type of B, and you have to declare the data type of C. Whereas in MATLAB, it is not required. Okay, so since this is a small sized input, just 5 and 7, we have typed here. So what happens if you add two numbers? So when you are adding just 15 plus 27, you can get the answer easily as 42. Consider you are going to create a matrix. So you can't type a big matrix easily. So for that, there are 5 inbuilt commands. So now we are going to see those 5 inbuilt commands. So in this program, A and B are nothing but initializing the arrays. So I'm mentioning here initialization of arrays. So we are doing the initialization of arrays. So consider I'm creating a matrix with values of zeros of 5. So here this is nothing but 5 rows, 2, third, fourth, fifth, and this is the column. First column, second column, third, fourth, fifth column. So when you mention only the value single number as 5, MATLAB will automatically consider it as a row size as well as the column size. If you want to mention only the rows as 5 and columns as 3, you can see, now you can understand what is meant by rows and what is meant by columns. So as per the code, a comma is used to separate the rows and columns in a MATLAB program. So as like zeros, you can create a ones matrix also. What are the numbers you are mentioning here? Based on that, you will get the output. And you can create a identity matrix, which is nothing but I. So diagonals alone will be 1. If you want to create any decimal numbers, you have to type rand. So here you can see in MATLAB by default, After decimal, only 4 numbers will be displayed. If you want to display some 8 or 10 numbers, you have to mention in the code, then only all the numbers will get. So next, suppose if you want to display the numbers like 25 and all, you have to use the command magic. So here I have typed magic of 3. So here you can see the output. So another wonder in this thing is you can add this number 8 plus 1 plus 6 is nothing but 15. You can add the diagonal 8 plus 5 plus 2 is nothing but 15. Similarly, add the columns 1 plus 5 plus 9 is gives 15. So if you add any rows or columns or diagonal wise, all the numbers are same. So this is one different aspect of this command, but our purpose is we have to initiate numbers like 25, 27 and all. So here you can see I'm mentioning magic of 6. There you can see the maximum number is 35. So these are the initialization of arrays. Okay. So now I'm going to consider this is the input matrix. I'm going to take the 35 value alone separately. So what will be the code if you want to take the value 35 alone separately? So those things are called as indexing, array indexing. So f equal to e of 1. You can see I'm getting the 35 value. Or you can take in another way. So it is present in which row? First row. So 1 comma, it's present in which column? First column. 1 comma 1 will gives 35. Consider we want to display 32 or 7. So f equal to e of 7 is present in which row? Second row. And which column? It is third column. I am executing it. Here you can see the value is 7. So you have to mention row and row comma column. Okay. So likewise, you can practice for each and every number separately. Don't practice everything in a single day. It will get confused. So array indexing, you practice for some 3 to 4 days. And practice daily 2 hours. Okay, so next my objective is I should get the output as 35, 1, 3, 32. So G equal to E of, okay, I should get the output as 35, 1, 6, 3, 32, 7. So 6 numbers. So what are the rows? It is first and second row. So 1 is to 2. So the rows used are 1 is. Remember, it's not a semicolon, it's just a colon. 1 colon 2. Then what are the columns? First column, second column, third column. 1 is to 3. Run the program. Here you can see 35, 1, 6, 3, 32, 7. Similarly, if you want to get displayed of 6 to 26, 19, so what's the position? It is in first row. And what's the column? First column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column you need. So begin with third column, colon, fifth. So you can see 6, 26 and 19. 6, 26 and 19. So observe the command window now. I am typing 20:30. So what happens if I press enter? The numbers between 20 and 30 will get displayed. So here you can see it is beginning with 20 and ending with 30 and listing out all the numbers between 20 and 30. Now I'm going to display only the even numbers. So beginning number is 20. Even numbers are nothing but when you add 2, you will get the display of 26, 28, 30. So this is the important function of colon. So in matrix arrays practices, this colon plays an important role. So you should understand the difference between colon and comma very carefully. Okay. So these are nothing but array indexing. So initialization of arrays and then array indexing. Now we are going to see some other inbuilt commands. So for this, I'm using the input like a equal to magic of 5. Okay, so what's the maximum number here? It is 25. So how to get the value of 25? You can identify the maximum number b equal to max of a, because what's the value of a? It is magic of 5. So b equal to max of a. You can see all the maximum numbers, the single column are represented. But our objective is you have to find only the single number. So find the maximum number present in B. So C equal to max of B. Here you can see it is 25. The same way to find the minimum also the same case. A equal to min of A. Sorry, D equal to min of A. G equal to min of D. It's nothing but 1. So we have used the commands like min and max. So min gives the minimum numbers and max the maximum value number. So we have seen how to create an array. We used 5 commands, namely zeros, ones, rand, I. Now we are going to see how to create a diagonal. So v equal to diagonal of 4. I'm typing 1, 4. So when you type diagonal, we are going to get the diagonal matrices. You consider we are going to create a matrix with V. So I'm typing the example V equal to, it is a single row with 5 columns. Now you can see the output executed on the command window. It is just displaying same value. Now I am using the command named diagonal. So here you can see what's it showing. Now you can see the error. You should not mention the command directly. That's the error. So this is the V, G equal to diagonal of V. So here you can see it is creating a matrix with diagonal values alone. The inputs are appearing in the diagonals alone. So we have seen the diagonal. The next command we are going to see is block diagonal matrix. So here block diagonal matrix is nothing but we are going to create a diagonal matrix. Consider the examples. Three inputs are there, A1, A2, A3. We are going to mention them as a block diagonal. You can see A1 is nothing but we are creating a ones matrix 2, 2. So first two columns are A1. After that, two columns are A2. After that, three columns are A3. So the similar output also you can also bring when you use the concatenation. So concatenation is nothing but you can do the concatenate of arrays. So when you do concatenation of arrays, you can do either horizontal way or vertical way. So I am typing one example here. So A equal to 1, 2, 3 equal to 4. You can see I just did the horizontal concatenation. Now you can understand it clearly. If you want to use the command, you can type like horizontal cat. You will be getting the same answer. So instead of horizontal, you can type vertical cat also. So you are getting error because you can see the dimensions are not equal. Because first matrix is 2 cross 2 and second is 2 cross 3. Now you can see I deleted so that the dimensions are matching perfectly. And hence we are getting the concatenation also perfectly. Okay, so that's all about the concatenation of arrays. Now I am going to explain this with respect to one images. Consider I'm taking an image named cameraman dot and the file format is TIFF format and displaying an image cameraman dot TIFF. Here you can see it is in busy, it's still running on. Usually it won't take much time. Yes, so now it came. Here you can see the input image. And what's the size? You check in the workspace, it is 256 into 256. So number of rows is 256, number of column is 256. You can see in the code G equal to size of A. You can see in the command window G equal to 256 and 256. Now you can type R space C. So automatically row size will be saved as R, column size as C. Now I am going to divide this input matrix as it is. The size is exactly it is 256 last 256. So I am dividing it into 4 sections exactly. So here you can see the top part. It is 1 is starting from 1 to 127, starting from 1 to 127. So I am just typing the remaining things also. 1 is to 127, 127 is to 256. Figure I am show of C. So here you can see I have typed the output is displayed in the top part because we have mentioned the 1 is to 127. So next thing you have to display the last bottom part. Figure comma I am show of C. Title is bottom 1 so that we can understand easy. So here you can see bottom 1. Then E equal to A of 120 is to 256, 128, 256. Figure of I am sure of E. Title is bottom 2. So now the given images is exactly divided into 4 parts. Okay, it is repeated. 28. So the values are same output you are getting because I mentioned the same image. See now here you can see the several figures are generated. So whenever you work with image processing, you have to include the command close all. Then only the previous image will get closed. Now I will show the output is generated. So this is the input image and this is the first quadrant and this is the second quadrant and this is the bottom 1 and the last one is bottom 2. So then to get the final output, you can do concatenation also. So G1 equal to, I am concatenating B and C. So figure I am sure of G1. B, C. Okay, I am typing as horizontal cat of B comma C. Okay. Instead of mentioning semicolon, I mentioned a colon. So that's why I got error here. So now at last we did horizontal concatenation. So we got the top part. Now we can use the same thing to get the bottom part. D comma E colon figure comma I am sure of G2. So finally, you can see the bottom part is getting concatenated. So when you want to get back the same image, we need to do vertical concatenation, vertical cat of G1 and G2. So when you do that, you will be getting the same image as like the input I am mentioning as final one. I am running the code. So it says that the size are not the same. Okay, so while using the vertical concatenation, its G1 and G2 size differs. Okay, because here there is some size mismatch is there. So you have to find it exactly, you have to divide it exactly. So for time being, I'm just doing some size change so that the array size will be the same. Okay, so now you can see the input image and the final image is nothing but this one, final one. Okay, so here you can see the bottom part is missing. So somewhere we did some mistake here. It should be okay. Yes, I got the mistake what we did. Twenty-seven. 257. So here are some dimension mismatches happen. Okay, so but that's not the concept behind that one. So you can check the concept. I think there is some small minor mistake only. B and C we have found. Okay, to 128 to 126. Okay. Okay, so now coming, we shall go back for the next concept. So next concept is nothing but, so far we have seen the how to introduce the arrays, the definition of MATLAB, and how to initialize the array, how to do indexing of arrays, and some basic commands like how to call a matrix and how to work with the commands like block diagonal, concatenation, and horizontal and reconstruction. So next we are going to see some examples like basic, which will helpful in aptitude problems. So here you can see I'm typing a command name sort. So to arrange the given input in ascending order or descending order. So what output you are getting? It is a ascending order. So if you want to mention output in descending order, just you have to type sort descent. That's all. So here you can see it is displaying in descending order. So this is about the sorting. So next, how to do flip. So A equal to 1, 2, 3, B equal to flip of A. So output is displaying as 3 to 1. Instead of displaying as 1 to 3, it is displaying as 3 to 1. So now I am typing A equal to magic of 3. It will get confused. Just the rows are get flipped. So there are commands like flip up down or flip left to right, flip LR. So two commands are there. Either you can do flipping on left to right or right to up to down or left to right. The next one, reshape. Okay, so consider I'm using the input A. So this is the input. It is a 3 cross 4 matrix. What's the size? It's a 3 cross 4 matrix. Size of rows is 3 and size of column is 4. So 3 into 4 is nothing but 12. So I can modify like 2 into 6, 6 into 2. But the total number of elements is 12 only. You can't modify like 2 comma 7. It will throw you error. You can type like 6 comma 2. You can see here. So same number should be maintained. If you want to calculate how many elements are there, number of elements, EL, NUMEL of A. You can see it has 12 elements. So you can't change like 15 elements at all. You have to use the same number of elements. So that's all about the matrix and arrays. So next basic concept is we are going to do plotting, which is nothing but graphics. So we are going to see the topic named graphics. So graphics is divided into 2D plots and 3D plots. Consider one A equal to 3, 4, 5, B equal to 5, 6, 7, 8. Plot A comma B, title, exercise, X label, just type any name, amplitude, Y label, time. Should see how I'm mentioning inside this single quote. So what will be the output for this one? You will get error because the size of A is 3 and size of B is 4. So it should be on the same size. So now I am deleting one element in B, running this program. So now you can see the output generated as this one. So by default, the MATLAB graphs, the color will be blue color. See the X label name and see the white label name, the title. So this is an example for 2D plot, very much basic thing. Suppose you want to change the color. In plot command, you can mention as A comma B comma, mention R in R denotes red color. So you can see the same graph is displayed in red color. So this is a basic exercise for plotting, which is nothing but line plot. So this is called as line plot. Suppose if you want to mention any log plotting, we can use commands like semilog graph. You can see here, I am declaring X and Y with command semilog X, and these are grids. So grids will appear. Now you can see the output generated semilog graph. So x-axis you can see the powers are written in 10 power zeros, 1, 2, and 10 power minus 1. So this is called log plots. And next thing, we are going to create some bar graph. So bar graphs is mainly used for some comparison. So here you can see days, concentration, temperature. I'm running this program. You can see the bar graph generated. So it is best thing to use for comparison. So any kind of comparison, you can use this bar graph. And there are some popular chart like pie chart. So pie chart is used for in many mathematics based application, you can use a pie chart. So here you can see the value is x equal to some input pi of x. So pi of x, you can see the output graph. So totally 5 numbers are there present in the input. So the objective is if you are adding all these number, you should get the value as 100. So based upon this one, it will create a graph. This is called pie chart. So as like this pie chart, bar graphs are there and polar plots are there. Histogram is there. Next, contour. So I will plot one example for polar histogram. So in this session, I told you we have just 1 hour of time. So in 1 hour, we can't cover topics much deep. So with this topic, I will just end this graphic session. So I'm running this code. Here you can see polar histogram. So the histogram value will be generated. So histogram is nothing but it will just display the intensity. Okay, so that's all about graphics. Next, we are going to see looping statements. So in looping statements, the most commonly used loops are if loop and for loop. So consider find the biggest of two numbers. Find the biggest of two numbers. Then it's how it A equal to 5, B equal to 10. Using if loop. So consider if A is greater than B, the function. If A is greater than B, display A is greater, else is B is greater. Then at last you have to end the statement. So I'm running this program. Here you can see B is greater. So this is the normal if program. Next we are going to see nested if. So for nested if, I am going to type biggest of three numbers. A equal to 5, B equal to 6, C equal to 7. If A is greater than B and A greater than C, is A is greater. else if B greater than C and B greater than A, this B is greater. Else this C is greater. End for this if and another end for the main if. So how many ifs are there? You have to mention that many end. Okay, now you can see C is greater. So now we are going to see for loop. So for loop, the syntax is see for k equal to 1:5, a equal to k plus 1. The answer you can see 5 numbers will be displayed. So each number will be added with 1. So that's all about the looping statement. So initially so far we have discussed the introduction of MATLAB, arrays declaration with respect to image processing, graphics, and finally the looping statements. So if you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment session. We will see in the next session. Thank you for watching.